Wait, did the White House just put ads on Easter eggs? Yeah, this year's Easter egg roll might be brought to you by Tostitos. Because nothing says presidential tradition like, hey kids, go find the Doritos branded egg behind the inflatable meta zone. Meanwhile, hot Mugshot Girl's back in jail, Fireball's throwing free whiskey at grandma's, and a dude in China had to go to the ER with his girlfriend's entire fist stuck in his mouth. The reason? Internet fame, obviously. Oh, and scientists think we may have undercounted the global population by billions, so if you're feeling like a tiny speck in an endless sea of humanity, turns out you're absolutely right. Plus, a Dairy Queen robbery for $1.50, Napster somehow worth $200 million, and an AI Suzanne Summers might come back to life to film new episodes of Three's Company. I don't even know anymore. This is Fireside News, where the headlines are real, but your faith in humanity, it's optional. Let's dive in. I didn't know egg prices were this high. CNN says next month's White House Easter egg roll will include corporate branding for the first time. The annual event has been a tradition on the South Lawn since 1878. The American Egg Board donates all the eggs each year, and others kick in money to avoid using taxpayer dollars, but it's the first time you'll be able to pay to have your logo prominently displayed. An event company hired by the White House sent out a document offering different branding opportunities. Some of the packages range in price from $75,000 to $200,000. You can pay for things like naming rights for key areas or elements, logos featured on event signage, and custom branded Easter baskets. Like always, people online are pretty split about it. Some think making money off of it is just wrong, especially with all the kids involved. Others think it's just a silly event, so you might as well make a few bucks, right? All the money's going to go to the White House Historical Association nonprofit that works to educate people on the history of the White House. They also pay for the official presidential portrait. I can imagine the White House Easter egg roll brought to you by Tostitos. If knowing there are 8.2 billion people in the world makes you feel like an insignificant ant, a new study found there might be way more people on Earth than we thought. According to the UN, we officially crossed the 8 billion mark in November of 2022, but researchers in Finland think that estimate's way off. The system used to track it is flawed. They looked at data from 35 countries and think the number of people living in rural communities is undercounted. They didn't give a number or say what they think the global population is, but they think the population in those areas might be undercounted by 53 to 84%. Other population experts agree that their study was flawed, but if they're right, it could mean there are billions more people on Earth than we thought. It looks like the hot Mugshot Girl decided to stretch her 15 minutes of fame into a half an hour. She got arrested again this past week, and yes, there's a new mugshot. If you're just catching up, 20-year-old Lily Stewart goes to the University of Georgia, and she went viral last week thanks to the mugshot she took after she got arrested for speeding earlier this month. Cops threw her in jail after she got pulled over once, and then again later by the same cop driving even faster this time. She got arrested again this past weekend, but not for speeding. They charged her for loitering and obstructing an officer. Last I checked, they hadn't said exactly what she did, but it happened in Athens, where the University of Georgia is. They booked her at 5:26 in the morning, and she was released on a $4,000 bond a few hours later. Her new mugshot isn't as flattering, but it's still pretty hot. She's in prison garb this time, and there's also a side profile shot. Think back to the last time you stubbed your toe. Did you drop any choice words when it happened? 74% of Americans swear when they stub their toe or experience abrupt physical pain, according to a new poll. That includes 32% who said sometimes, 24% who say usually, and 18% who say they always like to cuss. Another 14% say rarely. Only 8% said they never swear when they hurt themselves. Studies have found swearing can help with pain tolerance, but only a third of people think that's actually true. 1 in 6 people say swearing in public is never acceptable, even if you're in pain. Is it okay to cuss like my grandpa used to cuss, though? Saying words like fiddlesticks and hails bells? Is that still considered swearing? Well, if your grandma actually uses this, she's the hippest old lady in the world, or she's just hammered drunk all the time. Fireball Whiskey is giving out lifetime supplies of the stuff, but there's one big wrinkle. To win, you got to be at least 90 years old. They claim they're doing it because Fireball is oddly popular with older demographics. They said, quote, senior citizens love Fireball, and we're not going to argue with their years of wisdom. Anyone born in 1935 or earlier can sign up at lifetimesupplyoffireball.com. You can nominate them. The deadline's March 31st. You have to explain why they deserve to win and upload a photo. Up to 15 winners will be announced early next month. According to the rules, they don't actually win endless bottles of Fireball. They're just getting a check for $2,400, and they can use that money on Fireball if they want to. Or yarn. Meemaw's probably just buying more yarn. You know, part of me wants to know what kind of video this couple was filming, and then part of me doesn't. A guy in China showed up at the ER after getting his girlfriend's entire fist stuck in his mouth. They said it happened while filming a video for social media. There's a 10-second clip of them walking in together, and he's gagging and drooling while also trying not to laugh. It doesn't seem like her tiny hand could get stuck in his mouth so easily. Some people think it was staged, but the doctor who treated them reportedly said the guy's muscles seized up and he got lockjaw. Yeah, they gave him muscle relaxants and used a mouth opener. Then they slowly twisted his girlfriend's wrist to get the hand out. It took about 20 minutes. The couple said they were trying to film a funny video to go viral and just wanted to see if her whole hand would fit in his mouth. Turned out it did. All right, so imagine you're flying overseas. You go to the airport early, you make your flight, and then this happens. United Airlines flight from LA to Shanghai had to turn around over the Pacific Ocean on Saturday because a pilot forgot his passport. It was already set to be a 14-hour flight, but they turned around an hour and 45 minutes into the flight and had to land in San Francisco to swap out the crew. They got to San Francisco about 3 hours after taking off. Passengers were told there had been a crew-related issue, but didn't hear about the passport thing until later on. They waited around for 5 hours before finally taking off again, and they ended up landing in Shanghai about 6 hours late. United reportedly gave them all $15 meal vouchers for the trouble. That's mighty nice of them, huh? Well, Suzanne Summers died of breast cancer in October of 2023, but now she's back. And it might not be the last time I say that about a dead celebrity because, well, she's back as an AI robot. Suzanne's husband, Alan Hamill, worked with a company called Realbotics to create a, quote, digital twin of Suzanne, and it mimics both her voice and speech patterns using recordings and old footage of her. It even has many of her memories and can answer some questions. When it was asked to share a specific memory of a time with Hamill, it talked about a cooking segment they filmed where they had a funny mishap with a blender. Hamill claims it was Suzanne's idea, and he said, quote, I think she would smile a lot and be really happy about this. I think she would endorse this. Oh, and if you think it's getting strange, it gets even stranger. Hamill claims that he has, quote, long-range plans to get permission to have a John Ritter version made so they can make additional episodes of Three's Company. When I saw Napster sold for $207, I thought that sounded about right, and then I read the next word, and that was million. Napster, which launched back in 1999, just sold for $207 million. A lot of people didn't know it was even still around. It's like Spotify and Apple Music, but not as popular. Their big selling point is the audio is less compressed, so people who want good sound quality for Napster. A metaverse company called Infinite Reality just bought it, and they say they plan to transform Napster into a social and interactive music platform, or basically just virtual concerts. You buy tickets like normal, you use VR headset, and you watch artists perform in a more intimate setting. I bet I'd still end up with some crappy seats. Imagine stepping into a virtual venue to watch an exclusive show with friends or chat with your favorite artists in their own virtual hangout. You'll even be able to buy merch there. Napster was a big hit with college kids when it launched in 1999 because you could download music for free. It eventually got shut down in 2001, then relaunched as a paid service and went bankrupt. Best Buy bought it in 2008 and been sold a few more times since then, so it's not new territory. It's like an old relic of an early internet that refuses to die, and it's somehow still worth $200 million. Well, at least this lady has a fun answer when people ask her, hey, what are you in for? A woman in Florida is facing charges for robbing a Dairy Queen at gunpoint and only stealing $1.50. 44-year-old Allison Fetting allegedly flashed a gun at a Dairy Queen near Fort Lauderdale and told the cashier to give me all the money in the register. Well, she didn't get it, so she grabbed what she could from the tip jar, which was $1.50. It happened way back in February 2024, but they arrested her the next day and charged her on a Friday. She's already in jail for several other armed robberies and for drugs. She was set to be arraigned for the $1.50 theft sometime this week. This reminds me so much of that South Park episode. You gave him $1, the damn Loch Ness monster. Now this is what the internet is for. There's a thread on Reddit where people are describing their last fart using a movie title. Here's some of the best answers. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's a pretty good one. Extremely loud and incredibly close. Another great movie to describe your last fart. There Will Be Blood. Well, you might want to get that one checked out. Pitch Perfect coming in at number 4, followed by Don't Breathe. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Yeah, that'll do it. Backdraft coming in at number 7. Blazing Saddles, a great way to describe your last fart. Fast and Furious, rounding out the top 10, Something Wicked This Way Comes. Just outside the top 10, you got Days of Thunder, A Mighty Wind, Some Like It Hot, Wicked, and this one's just brilliant. Coming in at number 15, Big. Well, if you made it this far, congratulations! Your attention span's officially elite. Go ahead and give this video a like if you enjoyed watching the news slowly unravel. And if you want more weekly chaos, weird headlines, and questionable commentary, the good stuff, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment too. Let me know which story broke your brain the most this week. This is Fireside News, keeping it hot, mildly unhinged, and barely informative.